we should be able to back. Nana, I see you looking at me like you want me to mention the name. And I don't need to mention the name. You can mention the name. Ni jina gani wamesema?
Matiang'i.
Wao wenyewe wameamua wanataka Matiang'i as their presidential candidate.
Juja Member of Parliament George Koimburi on Thursday morning was forced to flee on a motorbike from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations detectives outside the Kiambu Law Courts. The MP, who was released on a 200,000 Kenyan shillings cash bail on Wednesday, had Thursday attended a court session for direction on whether he would take a plea on a charge of failing to attend court on numerous dates. Shortly after the court session, the MP addressed a press conference alongside his lawyer, Ndegwa Njiru, Makueni Senator Dan Manzo, and other officials. While addressing the presser, the MP was seen in a video being signaled by an official, a move that abruptly ended the presser. As they moved towards the car, a group of men in civilian clothes were seen attempting to grab the MP's hand, but were thwarted by his legal team. The legislator and his team were then seen scampering in the opposite direction, where he's reported to have boarded a motorbike and disappeared from the scene.
We were coming for the bail application, which you have done. They are saying that Honorable Koimburi should not be admitted to bail for reasons that are baseless and frivolous and vexatious. But the court has been able to admit him to bail, pending a ruling, a substantive ruling on the same matter. And that's why we have him today as a free man. And that's why we are saying that through the use of the law, we shall overcome all these challenges.
The High Court had already released him on bail. Kamukunji police station disobeyed the High Court and kept him and even brought him here. When we arrived here, they revived an old case which the DPP had withdrawn. That particular case, we are willing to handle it. But that does not make us forget the main reason why Mr. Koimburi is in trouble. I want to encourage the honorable member to make a motion on the floor of the House and question the expenditure which went on in African Union campaign so that the country can know and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs can explain and the Office of the President can explain. Because Kenyans need to know under Article 35 of the Constitution all that information so that Kenyans can know how much of their taxes were spent. This case is just a trapped up case. We know who started it previously before it was.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, has issued a 30-day ultimatum to the government to resolve the ongoing internship wage crisis or face nationwide demonstrations starting March 18th. KMPDU Secretary General Dr. Davji Atela says the union will not entertain discussions on wage reductions, emphasizing their role in maximizing salary for doctors. He accused the government of dishonesty and vowed to take necessary actions, including a strike, to ensure the collective bargaining agreement CBA is upheld by government.
Union, today, 28th, we're giving government 30 days. 30 days to resolve the matter of internship in terms of posting the interns as per the CBA. Otherwise, on 18th of March 2024, we will start a series of weekly demonstrations. But it was very contrary for the minister to come out in the glare summit of health to say that they are going to pay 70,000, which I must say was rejected by the court. And when she says that, it means that he agitates all the doctors in the entire country. We find ourselves back where we were last year.
Consultants just come for consultation. It's clear in the name. We're not disrespecting them. But it is the interns who do the donkey work. It is them who stay in hospitals day in and day out, making sure the hospital.
A court in Nairobi has freed a university student who went viral for assaulting a police officer last year. This is after policeman Jacob Ongendo told the court that he had forgiven Ian Njoroge for assaulting him in an incident that had tongues wagging on social media. Ogendo, a former bodyguard of former Nairobi County Governor Mike Sonko, told Senior Principal Magistrate Ben Makehubi that he has forgiven the young man. Ian had been charged in 2024 with causing grievous harm, robbery with violence and resisting arrest after a video showing him brutally beating the officer went viral.
We want to encourage Ian that for avoidance of doubt, there's no criminal record behind you. This case has as good as flopped. We told the nation from the very first day that this case was bound to go nowhere.
First of all, thank the Lord for this day. It's a day we've been long awaiting for, and finally it has reached. For all the support I've received especially from former Governor Mike Sonko, he's been with us to the core until to the last time. I really thank him for all the help he's given us. For my parents too, my mother, my father, for the support they've been with me, and all parties involved. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
I want to thank the DPP, the lawyers. We all oversaw this process together as a team. Kwa hivyo yetu ni kuwashukuru na sana sana Ogendo. You are a parent. Thank you very much for what you have done to Ian. Na wewe Ian, enda kwa kijana mzuri. Sawa sawa? Next time utapiga askari akona chuma unaelewa? So cheza chini, punguza hasira. You're still a young boy. You have a long way to go. Sawa?
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula led a delegation of members of National Assembly drawn from different parts of the country to the Nairobi home of Baringo Senator William Cheptumo to condole the family left behind following his recent death. The Speaker Wetangula stated that the country had lost a dedicated public servant who heavily contributed to Kenya's legislative landscape. Speaking after spending time with the family, sharing memories of the man described as humble and with strong family values, Wetangula expressed deep sorrow over the loss, highlighting Cheptumo's long-standing service to the nation.
Worked with the Honorable Cheptumo for years, and we have come to condole with his family. We are here with his widow and children and members of parliament who accompanied me. This week has been a disaster for Parliament, with a dark cloud hanging over us following a departure in quick succession of two members of Parliament, the member for Malava and the senator for Baringo. As Parliament, we have serious empathy with the families of our colleagues. The Honorable Cheptumo served in the National Assembly for 3 terms. Distinguishing himself as a legislator who paid sufficient attention to detail. He chaired the committees of delegated legislation, he chaired JLAC, and as a lawyer he had a lot of time to read on behalf of others and advise them on how to add value to legislative proposals. I also recall we served in the government of Mzee Mwai Kibaki when I was foreign minister. The Honorable Cheptumo was the assistant minister for justice and legal affairs, a ministry that was then headed by the late Mutula Kilonzo. And during the rundown to the Constitution 2010, we worked very closely as the lawyers in the House to guide the country in the process of constitutional making, and the Honorable Cheptumo gave very valuable contributions to this. As Parliament and as the people of Kenya, we say pole to the family. We will miss him, but God has taken him at the hour of his desire.
A cloud of grief hangs over Gitaru village in Kabete constituency after a devastating fire claimed the lives of 3 children last night. The trio, aged 3 months, 4 years and 9 years, are reported to have been locked in the house by their mother as she went out before the fire broke out. The angry flames quickly spread through the village and 8 houses were reduced to ashes. Kabete Sub-County Police Commander Anthony Mbogo says investigations are ongoing to establish the cause of the 9 p.m. fire incident. The bodies of the victims have been transferred to the Thogoto Funeral Home, awaiting post-mortem.
au baba hapa anafanya kazi usiku na alikuwa anakaa na watoto, alafu mama anaenda, sasa yeye ndiye anakuja usiku. Sasa watoto walikuwa wameachwa peke yao na nyumba imefungwa. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio imeshangia sana, kwa sababu nyumba imefungwa. So unaona watoto walikuwa kwa mlango, wanajaribu kutoka, lakini vile wamepata kumefungwa, sasa moto ikawasidi katika kwa mlango na wakaanguka, hapo ndio wamekufia.
We were unable to save the property which was destroyed by the fire. Kwa mbaya sana, kwa sababu tumeweza kuwapoteza watoto watatu wa umri wa miaka 5 hadi miezi 6 ambao tumeweza kuwachukua sahi na kumpeleka makafasi ambako watalazwa huko, tukingojea mipangilio ya mazishi. Mikasa imekuwa mingi, tulikuwa na mwingine kule Mwemuto pale kwa EP camp na sasa hapa.
Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi says public officers who are working under defunct and dissolved parastatals, which were wound down by Cabinet a month ago, have not lost their jobs. Muturi, who appeared before the National Assembly Labour Committee, said the employees were being retooled to perform their duties in existing parastatals. The Cabinet had in January approved a decision that saw 42 parastatals merged into 20 entities, 9 dissolved and 6 restructured as part of efforts to cut costs and reduce inefficiencies at government. Muturi also lamented on the number of stalled projects by the government.
And with the staff in the affected non-performing parastatals was to be retrenched. Even if there were to arise need for retrenchment, appropriate compensatory processes would have to be thought out. It may not be the right thing to do at this time, point in time, given our economic situation in the country. I think there may be need to either retrain or reskill those civil servants. I don't know whether there's something wrong with our psyche as a country. Well, the chairman, I'm saying this because I've traveled around this country, and there's something that I know some stored projects which have been there for more than 30 years. I went to a place called Water in Makueni. You find houses whose construction started more than 30 years ago, they are still stored. And with the staff in
University students, leaders, the clergy, and sexual reproductive health rights lobbyists in Nakuru have appealed to the government to ensure sufficient free condom supplies to universities and other institutions of higher learning. The lobbyists observed that reduced supply of free condoms in the institutions, which have been at an all-time low since 2023, has led to increased new HIV and sexually transmitted diseases infections. Livia Bosibori, a student leader at Egerton University, observed that students do not have access to toolkits that ensure safe and protected sex, yet most of them are sexually active. The senior medicine and surgery student, who doubles up as a volunteer champion, said tens of female students were also dropping out of university annually due to unwanted pregnancies.
We don't have the necessary access to some of these toolkits that will help us. Like, for example, the condoms. We noticed that the supply of condoms has not been there in the institutions. Therefore, youths are just engaging carelessly, leading to the high numbers of HIV cases and unintended pregnancies. Another key challenge that students have, people don't have the necessary information, adequate knowledge. What is sexual reproductive health rights? Then the students don't also have enough support. Like those students who end up being pregnant or who are infected with HIV and AIDS, what is next for them? They don't have the necessary support. You just find that they have the recovery center at the Nakuru County and Referral Hospital, just one center in the whole county, Nakuru County. What's next for them? So we're just calling upon the government and all organizations, if they can support these students to conduct such outreach activities, supply them with the necessary contraceptives and tools so that we are able to have a healthier society.
So we cannot keep on saying that we cannot talk about sex, health issues
they are cutting across. It doesn't matter the religion that you are from. So long as you are able to articulate in a perfect way to encourage health issues to be articulated rightly across, then you are on the right path. I encourage the church, the religious societies to come very openly and speak about health matters, to speak about sex issues, that our children may grow knowing very well that these are things that are no longer taboo in the society.
Advocate and actually urge the young people to have these conversations, the way we talk about it in the language that we understand. Let us have a safe space where we can talk these issues without being discriminated, or even me personally, I can get discriminated because my community will feel like I don't respect the virtues that is there based on our religion. But it's the normal conversation that we have, and which the religious leaders should actually have this conversation at the religious aspect and try to align with the teachings that we have, made by the Bible and the Quran, because it's almost similar, the same thing. So if you teach it in accordance to our teachings, regardless to our religion, you can easily infuse this conversation to our young people.
Residents of Tharaka Nithi will now access free healthcare services in all primary care networks, that is dispensaries and healthcare centers, as long as they are registered on the social health insurance. Announcing the directive, the County Governor Muthomi Njuki, who doubles up as a Council of Governors Health Committee chairperson, said all residents had the right to access quality and affordable healthcare without paying a dime at the county's facilities as an incentive to those that boarded the Social Health Authority train. However, those referred for admission will have to be paid up members.
Kushukuru wakaaji wa Tharaka Nithi kwa sababu ya kujisajili, kujiandikisha kwa SHA. Tangu hii mfumo ya SHA ianze, watu ambao wamejiandikisha kwa SHA ni watu 123,486. Na kulingana na idadi yetu ya wale watu ambaye kwa records wa wakaaji wa Tharaka Nithi 463,000, hiyo ni 27%. Katika Tharaka Nithi kuna uvumo watu kwamba waelewi hii SHA inafanya namna gani. Na nimetoa maagizo 3 leo. Agizo ya kwanza ni kwamba mtu yote ambaye amejiandikisha SHA katika hospitali zetu za dispensary ambaye inaitwa level 2 na hospitali zetu za all center, isipokuwa kama unakuwa admitted, kama umejiandikisha peke yake hata bila kulipa, hiyo unapata huduma ya bure, free of charge katika hizo dispensary. Kama umejiandikisha ni bure. Na ni vizuri niseme hapa, kama ujiandikisha SHA katika Tharaka Nithi County na ukienda pale kwa hospitali usitaki kuandikisha, tafadhali utahudumiwa, kwa sababu wewe ambao unataka kujulikana wewe ni nani. Kwa hivyo jiandikishe ndio upate huduma ya nini? Ya bure. Dispensary health center. Wale ambao walikuwa wamepotea katika level 5 level 4 yetu na level 5, hospitali ya Kibonga, hospitali ya Marimanti, hospitali ya Magutuni, hospitali ya Chuka. Mimi nimesema kama umejiandikisha SHA na mbeleni ulikuwa unaenda hapo unaambiwa ulipe pesa nyingine, nimesema leo kama governor wa Tharaka Nithi, kama umejiandikisha SHA na ukalipa ile system imebuka ulipe, hakuna pesa nyingine utalipa katika hospitali ya Marimanti, hospitali ya Kibonga, hospitali ya Chuka na hospitali ya Magutuni. Utakuwa treated free of charge. Bora umefanya nini? Hata kama ulienda jana ukalipishwa ingine ukaambiwa ni extra, saa hii hakuna extra. Kama unapigwa picha, unafanyiwa dialysis, kitu yote unafanyiwa, bora umelipa ile pesa sisi tumekwambia ulipe, utapata treatment ya nini? Ya bure. Hiyo ni muhimu sana, ndio watu wasije kupotea wakisema wanalipishwa. Kitu inaitwa revenue katika Tharaka Nithi. Kama ni hospitali ama ni sokoni, hakuna pahali tunakubalia mtu kuchukua pesa taslimu. Hakuna mfanyikazi wa county na ruhusiwa kuchukua pesa taslimu.
22 minutes past the hour. Allow us to take a quick breather. We'll be back shortly.
People are asking for the first order was asking that we are evicted from that parcel. If the order of eviction is granted, you can already see you are losing 22 million plus the value of the land, which if we were to go by the joint valuation report, the value of the land alone stood at 23 million. So already you can see you stood to lose 45 million before you start. But in the event that the order of eviction was not given, and the court ordered that we compensate them monetarily, they were asking to be given 28 million plus 10 million general damages plus 5 million what we call mesne profits for arising out of trespass. By my own calculation, that brings that thing to about 43 million. So the payment of 26 million, if you do a simple arithmetic calculation, 43 or 45 minus 26, you can clearly see we've saved well slightly over 15 million.
Scrap metal dealers in Central Rift have entered into partnerships with state agencies aimed at weeding out unscrupulous traders. The traders under the United Metal Dealers Association umbrella say they were holding deliberations with top officials from Kenya Power, Kenya Electricity Transmission Company Limited, and the Ministry of Roads, Transport and Public Works to come up with the most effective ways of stopping vandalism of government infrastructure. The association's chairman, Joseph Wandaka, said the resolutions agreed by the dealers who met in Nakuru include exposing any suspected vandalized property in the supply chain to relevant state agencies and handing over culprits to the police for further action.
Kubaliana ya kwamba tutakuwa tukichunga kazi, na kwa vile tumekuja kujua kwamba wale watu wanafanya vandalism sio watu yetu, ni watu wanatoka kando, ni waizi wa kawaida. Na tuko na watu tumeshika kama watu watatu ambaye sio watu wako na license, na hawa ndio walikuwa wakifanya vandalism ya kukata posti za stima, na tumeweza kushika na tukapeleka kwa serikali. Watu wetu wamelalamika sana kuhusu license, wanataka bei ya license irudi chini, at least iwe kama from 10,000 to 15,000, because ile mtu wa chini hapa analipishwa 50,000, mtu wa namba 2 ni 150, sisi kama dealers kama mimi ninalipishwa 250,000. Tukiangalia hiyo license, kuna ingine ya neema, kuna ya county, kama ya county kwa hii county yetu.
Tumeongea na Scrap Metal Council ili waweke zile rates za licensing zikuwe affordable, so that tuweke watu wote kwa bracket ya kuwa kilipa license, ndio tuweze kutrace watu vizuri. Members wetu wameelezewa mambo ya kuweka records, ule mwenye analeta scrap kwa yard yake anafanya kuandika record zake, namba za simu na kila kitu, ili tutakuwa na njia rahisi ya kushika wale wakora. So ile chuma ambayo tunaona labda hauijui, tuko na wall zetu kama United Metal Dealers ambayo member anafaa atume ile chuma pale, na members wengine ama sisi leaders tunamsaidia ku identify ile chuma. Kama ile chuma itakuwa ni ya kampuni fulani ama hizo kama ni ya part of critical infrastructure, wana report kwetu, na sisi mara moja watu we advise them wasiwachilie ule aende, kwa sababu wakimwachilia anaenda kwa another agent ama another dealer.
Ford Kenya supporters from Busia County staged demonstrations along Kisumu-Busia Highway to protest over impeachment threats targeting the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula. The leaders, led by Rispa Mora, Pauline Nagila, Zainab Hamisi, have vowed to show solidarity with Wetangula at all costs. The supporters have warned the opposition to stop popping their nose in the affairs of the current leadership.
Tumekuja kwa majonzi tukilia kwa uchungu tukiona baba wetu wanasumbuliwa. Ningependa kuuliza koti zetu, go back to the numbers that were given to you. Muangalie ile hesabu vizuri ya Kenya Kwanza na wale wengine. Hizo numbers zile mulinterpret, kulikuwa na makosa kubwa sana.
Tunaomba kwamba hizi njama ambazo zinapangwa dhidi yake ya kumtoa katika kiti chake cha uongozi, kwa sababu anapokuwa pale katika
All right, that news from Busia marks the end of our broadcast tonight. We hope that you're duly informed on what is making headlines across the Republic of Kenya tonight. Thank you for watching. Do join my colleague Martin Masharia on Morning Live tomorrow. He'll be having a conversation around filmmaking before Fred Njiri comes in at 9 a.m. To discuss more on the country's foreign policy, especially at a time when Kenya has been accused of popping its nose in the affairs of other countries. So what is in this particular foreign policy? How does it direct Kenya on what to engage in and what not to? So that is for tomorrow, but for now, thank you for watching. Our sign language interpreter for tonight has been Laura Omondi. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Have yourself a blessed night.